It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
I'm so excited. I'm talking to everybody with no microphone. I knew something was missing. This is what I love about live television. I hope you had a great King holiday. I did. I got some rest. And we had some incredible parades. Shout out to the city of Charleston. And shout out to the city of North Charleston, Mayor Reggie Burgess, and my man, Ronald Smith, my man. As a matter of fact, he was my guest on Friday. Was that Friday night? Yeah, Friday. So I'm doing this. This is what I love about live TV. You can do this kind of stuff and get away with it, right? Right. So, Monday through Friday, 7:30. Now, yesterday was the King holiday, so we didn't have a live show. In case you tuned in and wondering where I was at, I'm here. So Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Chicago. Stand up Chicago, stand up San Antonio, Texas. My viewers down there. Stand up Dallas, Texas, and Houston. Stand up Memphis, Tennessee, Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Minneapolis. Shout out to Minneapolis. We are standing with all of you brothers and sisters of all backgrounds, part of the human race. Absolutely. Yeah, we're going to get into that too. Live in Los Angeles, Las Vegas, and everybody out on the West Coast, from Portland, Oregon to Seattle to San Diego. 4:30 p.m. live. L-I-V-E, live. And if you missed any of the episodes from the past 5 years, my YouTube channel right here. You'll see my archive, the Geno Jones Show archive. We are right here. So, by the way, first of all, shout out to our brand new sponsor for 2026. Shout out to Mayor Shardell Murray, the city of Hollywood, South Carolina, and Murray's Mortuary. They have 3 locations here in the Lowcountry area. We call it the Charleston Metro, Charleston, South Carolina Metro, the Lowcountry, North Charleston, and then we got Hollywood, South Carolina, and I think Johns Island. All right. By the way, everybody watching the show live, the show is interactive. What does that mean? That means if you're watching me live right now, hey, say hi. Let me give you a shout out. Jump in my chat room. You see where it says live chat? Jump in there. Type in your name. Type in where you're watching. Type in there who you want me to shout out or whatever. You got a question or you got a comment, all that, put it in there. Shout out to my executive producer, my #1 fan, my mom, who's watching the show right now. So you can join her in the conversation, and you can start your own conversation in my chat room. It is all good. So once again, shout out to everybody. King Holiday weekend. The King Holiday was on Monday, which was yesterday, January 19th. Today is Tuesday. If you're watching me live, January 20th. It's been a crazy, crazy year. And your man, Orange Hitler, was on TV. I really, in his voice, his face and voice triggers me. But, so I just want to kind of reflect. Because a year ago, this madness, it really, really began a year ago today. All of this madness. And here we are. We've got federal agents, ICE agents, thugs, Nazis, Proud Boys, Oath Keepers. You've got these most extreme insurrectionists that stormed the Capitol, who have found their way as ICE agents. Oh, you absolutely know some of those insurrectionists are now ICE agents. That's why they have their face covered. Outside of the fact they're cowards, they cover their face. And then they pay them $100,000. So they get $100,000 a year, and they give them a $50,000 bonus. But you can't afford to make sure that, 20 million people who get subsidies through the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. You don't have money for that. You don't have money for you cutting SNAP benefits. People like elderly people like my mom. You cut SNAP benefits to seniors and children. But somehow you can come up with all this billions of dollars, billions, to pay these cowardly, thuggish, Nazi-ass federal agents that you call ICE $100,000 a year. And start them off at $100,000 a year and give them a $50,000 bonus. Cowards in train. These are dudes that couldn't cut it. They weren't good enough to be in the military. They weren't, in a lot of cases, they weren't even good enough to be on a local police department. And that's saying a lot, because you got a lot of police departments. If you got a pulse, they'll hire your ass and give you a gun and a badge. But this situation that we are in now, you have these ICE, Nazi, thug, federal agents shooting, killing American citizens. They shot a 37-year-old white woman with her dog in the car and her partner in the passenger seat. Woman had stuffed animals. They said to one of these ICE thugs and Nazi, and one of these cowards, "Hey, dude, I'm not mad at you." Then he shoots her in the face, shoots her 3 to 4 times and shot her in the face at least once, killed the woman. And then they wouldn't let there was a doctor, there was a physician. A man on camera said, "I'm a physician." And they made him stand back. They wouldn't even let him. He said, "I want to check her pulse," and they wouldn't let him do it. These people are not human. They're not. And I know that some people say that may be harsh. Their actions and behavior. If you act in an inhuman way, what else am I supposed? What else could I call you? If you are acting in an inhumane way, if you are showing no humanity, I have to call it what I see. I got to call it out. If you're acting like you don't have any humanity, then I've got to basically say you are displaying no humanity. It's just that plain and simple. Inhuman. No compassion, no empathy, no decency, no morality. So here we are, a year later, to the day. Orange Hitler wants to send the U.S. Army, a group of Army soldiers stationed in Alaska, to Minneapolis to invade American city, an American city. He tried to invade Chicago. He had his ICE criminals, his ICE cowards invade Chicago. He had the National Guard. I think they still have the National Guard in D.C. He keeps threatening to invoke something called the Insurrection Act, which is only invoked when there's a threat, a violent threat, a threat to physically overthrow the government, which there's nothing like that on the horizon. As a matter of fact, Orange Hitler has used his own private paramilitary, ICE cowards and thugs to invade American cities. And now he wants to illegally Google a posse comitatus, basically, which is a law that says that American soldiers are not to be used to police their own citizens. They're not to be used as a local police force. Posse comitatus. Orange Hitler don't give a shit about that. He wants to do what he wants to do. So he's threatening to invade a sovereign nation, Greenland, which is a part of Denmark. one of the politicians of Denmark on camera told Orange Hitler to fuck off. That's what he said. So I got to call it like I see it and call it like I hear. That's what the man said on camera. Denmark, part of NATO, 32 countries, including the United States, that formed an alliance, a military alliance, to where we are what they call a signator, one of the original, founders. NATO, it's been around since 1949. I think they started putting NATO together in 47, right after World War II ended. 1949 officially NATO began. You got 32 countries now. And basically they have their articles in what they call NATO. NATO is the North American Treaty Organization. Yep, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. I got it right. North Atlantic Treaty Organization. So when you hear NATO, and it's all these countries that came together basically to protect each other from the old Soviet Union, which is Russia, primarily, and then Hitler and Germany. Really, that's when NATO really, was really right after, it was more so right after what Hitler tried to do and take over the world. So, okay, we got to come together. So if there's another Hitler, here we are. What? 77 years, almost 80 years later, from 1949, we got a new wannabe Hitler, Orange Hitler. So the United States is a member of NATO, this military alliance, and it is written, and it's NATO was approved by the U.S. Congress. So it's U.S. law, is international law, that all these countries sign this agreement that if one NATO country is attacked, so let's use the U.S. The U.S., if you attack Greenland, which is a part of Denmark, that means you are attacking all the other 30 countries in NATO, 31 including Denmark, Greenland by way of Denmark. And you have taken an oath, you have signed. This is a treaty that is nearly 80 years old. After 9/11, Denmark was one of the first countries to send soldiers to defend America. When we wound up, first we were supposed to go look for bin Laden in Afghanistan. Somehow we wound up in Iraq looking for Saddam Hussein because George W. Bush was mad because Saddam supposedly tried to kill his daddy, George H.W. Bush. I digress. We are one of the founding, America. So let me get, the United States of America is one of the founding members of NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. And now, this orange dude wants to use the American military to go to war against an ally, men and women that America has trained. They have NATO. I spoke to our military expert for the show, retired Master Sergeant Roy Gray. He was on last week. He talked about how every year they had training exercises. America's military would have training exercises with other NATO countries. He talked about how Italy, he was in Denmark, he's trained with Danish soldiers, and Norway, soldiers from Norway, Sweden, and from Italy, from Germany. All of these countries, that's a part of NATO. Spain, Portugal, France. I could go on and on and on. So you have those in the American military that's got relationships, professional and personal relationships with members of the military, military members from these other NATO countries. They're allies, they're partners. They have signed an oath to, if you attack one NATO country, that's an attack on all NATO countries. And that means that all the NATO countries will come to the defense of the NATO country that's being attacked. Like what happened after 9/11, when all the other NATO countries sent soldiers to help America allegedly look for bin Laden, which turned into, they eventually found him, but that was, after they kind of took a pit stop over in Baghdad in Iraq. I digress. So here we are a year later, 1 year later. You have federal troops invading American cities. You have a dictator who wants to use the U.S. military to attack American citizens. You have American citizens being shot and killed by unarmed American citizens. You've had citizens and immigrants alike being snatched up, kidnapped, disappeared, sent to foreign countries. By the way, today the stock market crashed almost 1,000 points. The overall stock market lost $1.5 trillion with a T. $1.5 trillion in value in a day, in 1 day. 1 day. Because the European countries are pulling their money, all the money, these foreign countries, European countries they've bought and purchased U.S. bonds and stocks, and purchased stocks in American companies, selling it off. But Orange Hitler is doing all this to distract, hoping that people will forget about the Epstein files, and they will not. He is protecting pedophiles. Woo! Man, that was it. And he signed a law that Congress passed. He was supposed to have released the Epstein files a month ago. They've released 1% of the overall Epstein files. So here we are, a year later. What are you prepared to do about it? There's a famous line, a scene out of the movie Untouchables, The Untouchables, which was about a federal officer, federal agent, Elliot Ness. But he was nothing like Ice. And he was played by Kevin Costner. And a local Chicago police officer, because Chicago back in the 30s was corrupt. Al Capone controlled the city, and bootlegging alcohol and prostitution and gambling. So Al Capone, he owned everybody. Everybody was on his payroll, from the mayor to the police chief, police officers, lawyers, judges, you name it. Some of everybody. And in the scene, Elliot Ness was trying to arrest Al Capone, which is based on a true story. It was really a guy named Elliot Ness, and he was a federal agent, and he was trying to, lock up Al Capone for being responsible for all the murders and all the massacres and murders and killing and bootlegging, illegal sales of alcohol and gambling and prostitution and you name it. Al Capone, they were never able to arrest Al Capone on all the murders he was responsible for, all the gambling he was responsible for, all the bootlegging of liquor, the sales of illegal alcohol, because alcohol was illegal in the early 30s. All of that, prostitution, gambling. The only thing, Al Capone was taken down by Elliot Ness for tax evasion. Not murder, not racketeering, not gambling, not prostitution, not extortion, none of that. Was arrested for tax evasion, income tax evasion. So the point I'm trying to make is that there's a line in the movie where the Chicago cop, played by Sean Connery, the real, original James Bond, turned to Kevin Costner's character, Elliot Ness, and said, "What are you prepared to do about it? What are you prepared to do about it?" So America's CEOs, the CEOs of American companies, what are you prepared to do about this madness, about this bullshit that you financed, that you have given this man billions of dollars, over close to trillions of dollars? All these CEOs of all these companies, you've kissed his ass and given him all kind of crazy presents. You had a woman came over from Venezuela. She wants to be the president of Venezuela. She had won the Nobel Prize, and she actually gave the prize to Orange Hitler, which the Nobel Committee said you can't transfer. So you may have given it to him, but we ain't giving it to him. So in history, you won the Nobel Prize. Now, if you were dumb enough to actually give him, to actually hand him the actual Nobel, that little prize, that little round looked like a medal, gold medal. If you were dumb enough to do that, that's on you. But we are not. We're not giving him a Nobel Prize. And he got a hard on for that. Oh, I've stopped all these 8 wars and all these. Stick, as my grandmother said, this dude will stick to the lie. And all the distractions from using ICE agents and federal agents and wanting and getting ready to basically invoke martial law to use to basically sick the American military on its own citizens, to send in the U.S. military to attack and intimidate their own citizens, which is a violation of posse comitatus once again, which is a law that says that the American military, U.S. military, is not to be used to police its own citizens. All of that, attacking Greenland, invading Greenland, taking over Canada. Now Canada's cool with China. Mexico's cool with China because he was talking about, invading Mexico and Colombia and Cuba. And listen, of course, well, he didn't invade Venezuela. They just snatched Nicolas Maduro, the prime minister. But the same regime, everybody that was working for and under the dude that they snatched up and put in prison in New York City, his regime is still in power. So, what was that all about? All of it is a distraction because this man is protecting pedophiles. Thou protest too loudly. Thou protest too hard. Why? Why is he willing to start a war in Greenland and to basically, he's declared war on American cities to distract, to create more chaos and confusion and crisis and corruption, to keep people from focusing on and talking about Orange Hitler protecting pedophiles by stalling the release of the Epstein files. What are you prepared to do about it? We're going to talk about that. I'll be talking about it. As a matter of fact, all this week I'm going to talk about this because there's so much we can do. So that's going to be the theme of this week's show. What are you prepared to do about it? This week marks 1 year of this madness. What are you prepared to do about it? You got to do more than vote. You got to mobilize, organize, We're not going to be able to persuade anybody, but we need to talk to all of our neighbors. And hello, shout out to white America, those who identify as white, because whiteness, this whole construct of race, called a social construct, which is really a fancy scientific way of saying this is just like a con. It's a con game. Race was created to divide very wealthy Europeans, or really was to divide poor Europeans that they call peasants, to divide poor Europeans against other poor and working class people of all backgrounds. The wealthy elite Europeans, they never could stand poor Europeans. Europeans never called themselves white before the 16th, 17th century. They never did. But they came up with this, let's create this race thing, and we make these peasants, because that's what the wealthy Europeans, that's what they called Europeans that weren't wealthy. They looked down on them and called them peasants. So they got to distract the peasants, because they don't want the peasants to realize the reason that you've been oppressed and you're barely surviving is because we want all the social, economic, and political power. We want all the power and the money. And we don't want you don't deserve to have any, because you're not part of our class. But they had to come up with a distraction and get them to be pissed off at somebody else. So we need that anger and hatred and venom, not directed at us, the wealthy Europeans. So let's create this thing called race and make them think that these darker people that's darker than them, that's got more melanin, that those people, or people that speak a different language, those people are their enemy. And that if they embrace this thing called whiteness, that they're a part of whiteness. We are white and you're white. So whatever we tell you, you should believe us. Whatever we tell you, even if it seems like it's against your own best interest and the interest of your family, believe us, because we're white. And at least you're better than those folks over there, them dark folks. And it has been one hell of a con job to this day. And you've had millions of people in America that voted for their whiteness, because it made them feel better about themselves. It made them feel that they were better than people who had melanin. It made them feel like they were better than black people or brown people or you name it, Asians, Native Americans, Asian Americans, women, period, of all backgrounds. And then 53% of white women voted for this identity of whiteness and voted for a dude that said on video you could grab women by the pussy and they'll let you get away with it if you're a celebrity. So a man that bragged about sexually assaulting women, 53% of white women voted for it, not once, not twice, 3 times. And then recently, a 37-year-old white woman was shot in the face by one of these cowardly-ass ICE agents sent out there by Orange Hitler. The same person that 53% of white women voted for 3 times. So my point in closing is that your whiteness, for those who identify as white and think that, I'm God bless America and make America great again. I got my hat and my Trump flag and I'm white and he's white and he don't give a shit about you. He thinks less about your poor, broke, white ass than he does about black people. Because billionaires and white men, wealthy, powerful billionaires who were millionaires back in the day, they've always despised poor and working class white people because they look at you and say, well, what's wrong with you if you don't have a lot of money? it's something wrong with you. Because this whole system was rigged and designed for you to have access to all the power, all the social, economic, political power, to get away with all the misogyny, sexism, and patriarchy. It was built on racism, patriarchy, sexism, and misogyny. That's what this system was built upon. The original Constitution said that the only people that could vote were wealthy, white, male landowners. Said that Africans were 3/5 human, and women, the word woman, was never even mentioned, written anywhere in that original Constitution. Don't believe me? Go take a look. Talk to your chat GPT, ask Aisha. Those of us that's on the digital green book. So, what are you prepared to do about it? There's a lot we need to be prepared to do about it. A lot that we need to be prepared and that we need to be doing. We can start by shutting this economy down. The way to get people's attention with money and power is to dig in their pockets. Stop shopping. Don't buy shit. Valentine's Day, NBA All-Star Game, Super Bowl, no Super Bowl parties, Easter, St. Patrick's, none. Shut all of this shit down. Shut this economy down. Because these billionaires, Wall Street, these Europeans are sending a signal to America today. Your stock market, the American stock market lost $1.5 trillion in value in a day, not even 24 hours. So you can F around and find out if you want to. So we, as Americans, we need to send a message and signal to these CEOs. Shut this economy down. Because they will go see their boy, Orange Hitler. Because if we really shut this money spigot off, we shut it down and stop spending money, which will affect the stock market even more. The economy has already gone to hell in a handbasket. And if if Orange Hitler sends those army soldiers into Minneapolis, shut it down. Don't spend nothing. Invading Greenland, he's playing with fire. But the bad part is going to hurt all of us. But sometimes you got to have a little pain. So shut this economy down. Because the only way to get these CEOs' attention, the only thing they worship is money. Even the ones that claim to be Christian. Their remixed version, this racist remixed version of Christianity called white Christian nationalism, has nothing to do with Christianity, nothing to do with Jesus, Christ, or God. And it's all about power and control of power and economics rooted in racism, misogyny, sexism, and patriarchy. Period. Full stop. So, shut the economy down. What are you prepared to do about it? Stop shopping. Shut it down. Don't buy shit. We'll talk about more on Wednesday. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you, and especially you, God, most of all. Thank you for letting me do the Geno Jones Show live, Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Central Time, 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Tell everybody to subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Subscribe, share, screen grab, do a little screenshot, rip some of the video, chop it up, make it go viral. Please leave your comments in the comment section below. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget, please, it's so important for the algorithms, so the algorithms can let everybody know the Geno Jones Show is fire. Leave your comments in that comment section below. Please click on that thumbs up you see below. Tell everybody you know. Don't forget to please click the thumbs up and please leave your comments. The Geno Jones Show brought to you by our new sponsor for 2026, the town of Hollywood, South Carolina. Yes, the town of Hollywood, South Carolina. Mayor Shardell Murray and Murray's Mortuary, 3 locations here in the Charleston, South Carolina metro area. We have North Charleston, we have Johns Island, we have the town of Hollywood, South Carolina. We'll be seeing Mayor Murray on the show very soon. We got to get Mayor Reggie Burgess, the mayor of North Charleston. We got to get him back on the show real soon too. So don't forget, spread the word. Copy and paste the link, put it in a text message, email. Once again, share and tag this show on everybody, all your family, your fans, your followers, your friends, you name it. Everybody, your kinfolk, your cousin, folks you love, folks you don't, even the MAGA folks you just make their head explode. Yeah, share and tag it on their pages too. All right, you have my blessing. Chop up, grab a little screenshot, some of the video, chop it up, make it go viral. All right, we'll see you live Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 p.m. Central Time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 p.m. Central Time, Chicago, San Antonio, Minneapolis, Memphis, Houston, Dallas, New Orleans, Little Rock, 4:30 p.m. live in Los Angeles, in Las Vegas, up in Portland, Oregon, Seattle, from San Francisco to San Diego. We'll see you. Shout out to Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check him out on Instagram, IG, KLB Cutting Up, KELBECUTTINUP. Allie Jones is the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. Check her and her Lexi Jones collection out, lx.ncl_. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you live Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.
When Geraldine and I tell our girls about growing up in the 80s and 90s, it's like talking about a whole different planet. We used to play outside till the street lights came on. We drank straight out of the water hose, ran everywhere, explored, got lost, got hurt, busted our knees, our heads, and our butts. Nobody knew where we were, what we were doing, or who we were with. I'm Chris Jones. I'm a rocket scientist, a minister, and a girl dad. And I have a theory about why childhood and everything else feels different now. Because gravity hasn't changed, but the price of a trip to the hospital has. Blue jeans, Jordans, gas, groceries, and health insurance. Everything is more expensive, and it's scaring us out of risk, innovation, and the joy of life itself. It was more affordable to fall, to fail, to get back up. And our parents trusted America enough to let us run free. Bankruptcy was for gamblers and crooked real estate developers, not middle-class families, not teachers, not cancer patients. I'm running for Congress because the fall of the American working class wasn't an accident. It was a political decision. Meet my congressman, French Hill, the most powerful banker in America. He's my opponent, but he's your problem too. He chairs the Financial Services Committee and fights anything that looks like consumer protection. The law to limit overdraft fees to $5.
This is a change that could save American households $5 billion in overdraft charges every year.
French Hill killed it. Yep, they even found a way to make being broke more expensive. If there's anybody who's got to go, it's him. I'm blessed. I studied hard, earned 2 degrees from Morehouse College, then 2 masters and a PhD from MIT. I married my best friend, who's a combat veteran and an ER doctor. God gave us 3 beautiful daughters, and along that journey, I earned the votes of 319,000 Arkansans who believe we deserve better. I have good news for you. You can still go outside till the street lights come on. We call it organizing. Just you and a few friends fighting for your freedom, standing up for each other. We have 12 months to win this election. We have a poll that makes this a 1-point race and a grassroots organization that has been growing for 3.5 years. This district is full of fighters. We're doing the hard work, and we need you to join us.